Hey, Kat here again. I got this book today from UPS. Again, like I said in my other video, it's surprising that they delivered on Labor Day, but hey, it was a pleasant surprise. I ordered this through eBay. This is very expensive. It's $50, but I found like a $11 copy, probably because this is more used than the other ones, but this is like a sought after collector's item apparently, and very hard to get. The reason that I ordered it is because, well, first of all, it's called Illumet by Tomi Ungerer, by the way, and he's the writer of it and he's the illustrator. And this is from Parents Magazine Press, which I don't think they have this type of book club anymore, but when I was a little girl, my parents had signed me up for the book club for Parents Magazine Press, and I got all these different books for kids. And I don't know why I was thinking about this one day. I really don't know. For some reason, something reminded me of the story The Little Match Girl, and then I thought of this. And I knew that when I got it when I was a little girl, it was based on The Little Match Girl. But what I had remembered about it was that I didn't even want to see the book. Something about the book bothered me. And I didn't even want to be like in the same room with it. I would like try to hide it under the couch. And then my brother would get it out and I'd be like, stop looking at that, put that away. I cannot remember what bothered me about this. I don't think I ever read it. I think it was something to do with the pictures. And in looking at this book, I don't get why. I mean, like, I'm a horror lover and I don't get why I was so disturbed by this book. It's a nice book, actually. It has a happy ending. My mom ended up ripping it up and throwing it away because I didn't even want to be around it. That is so bizarre to me. And she can't remember why I didn't like it, and I can't remember why I didn't like it. But I'm glad that I ordered it because this is really a nice, sweet book. Okay, it has a happy ending. The Little Match Girl, it's a retelling of the Hans Christian Andersen story. And so she doesn't die in this one. Okay? It makes it nicer than the original story. It's a total retelling. And I'll just show you some of the pictures in it, but let me just give you I'm going to tell you what it's about, and there's going to be spoilers because most of you aren't going to read this because it's very hard to get, and I couldn't even put it on my Goodreads Read in 2017 list because it's not even listed in Goodreads. So I'll give it all away. So, yes, Illumet, she's very poor, okay? And this is a fable. And Tomi says, a fable with due respect to Hans Christian Andersen, the Grimm brothers, and the Honorable Ambrose Bierce. Okay? Now, she's very, very poor. I'll just show you these pictures and summarize it. I mean, and she's so skinny, she's starving. And look at her eyes, if you could see them, okay? Bare feet that are freezing. The poor thing. I think because it started out so miserable, I never read the happy ending. I just was like, get it away from me. I mean, I was little, okay? And she has no parents. And it talks about how she has to live in cars, she has to eat out of the garbage, and nobody pays her any mind. She has a hard time selling her matches because people want to use lighters. And the illustrator, author, makes a habit of showing a lot of rich people flaunting their wealth in front of her and just like totally ignoring her while she's like starving to death. She's skin and bones. At Christmas time, they knock her right over. They don't pay attention to her. And it says because they're too happy to notice her. And this is some stuff going on in the store. Holiday stuff, or outside the store, I guess. Very crowded. And she gets verbally abused. She sees in the window all these pastries at this bakery, and she's freaking hungry, so she looks in the window, and she gets verbally abused by the baker that owns it, and he turns her away. And you could see he's also stepping on her matches there. She's being chased by his dog. So she winds up at this building site and she lights a fire with her last match. And the heat felt good, okay? But somebody sets off a fire alarm or something and the firemen start coming, and so she has to run away again. And I don't know what this is. I've been trying to figure out what this thing is that's peeking out of this little, I don't know what this is. A cement mixer? I don't know. But what is that thing? If anybody has any idea, feel free to tell me. Okay. So she's like praying and begging to the heavens for her life to get better. She's thinking, this is the end. If I could just have some of these things, I would feel so much better. And then all of a sudden, all of her wishes start coming true. Things come flying out of the sky non-stop. Everything that she ever thought she might want while she was this starving, pitiable orphan on the streets. I mean, turkeys, ham, birthday cake, stuff to keep her warm like blankets, a bicycle, okay, everything that she's thinking about. And you can see in these pictures, they come flying out of the sky. Dolls, toys. It's also lightning too, and you could hear thunder apparently, but this is what's coming from the sky. Furniture, instruments, I mean, wishes coming true left and right. A TV. Well, the baker and his wife, they hear the noise and they look out there and they see all this stuff, so they want to be greedy, so they go out there to try to get some of it, okay? But all the plumbing supplies that are coming out of the sky come down and knock them around and knock them into next week. And they're screaming, and supposedly all sorts of jellies coming out of the sky on them, muffling their screams. I'm thinking, oh, are they going to die in this book? So then it's over. At dawn, the sky's clear, and the mailman comes, and he falls into this teddy bear. And the mailman is, you know, all excited. And Alumet tells him, you know, I wished for it and it all came down last night. And he's like, well, what are you going to do with it? And she says, I'm going to give it away. And the mailman says, well, in that case, I better tell everyone about it. So he's like the messenger. And like the maimed, the helpless, the young, the old, the jobless, the joyless, the sick and the blind, the weak of mind, they all come out lining up to get all of these things because she has more than she would need. And she wants to help people that were just like her or maybe worse off. And you can see the rich people looking out the window. And it says that they're there feeling ashamed. They see all of these people, these needy people, and they feel ashamed and selfish. The mayor gets a little bit ticked off about this, and he wants to stop it. And he calls some soldiers. And he's like, we're going to stop these people and we're going to put them back in the shadows where they belong. But, happy to say that the baker and his wife did not die. They didn't get killed, but they crawl out of everything. They're all bruised. And they're on their knees apologizing to her, saying, you know, how sorry they were for the way they treated her. And they see now the error of their ways. And they want to help her distribute all this to people who need it. So he's rich and he has his own warehouse even. So he offers up his warehouse for her to give away this stuff. And she gives away canned goods, food, and everything. And the soldiers come, but they get turned away because the mayor sees this as an opportunity to look good in front of everybody. And he sees that, you know, nobody really agrees with him that's there about getting rid of these people and stopping her from doing such a good deed. So instead, he climbs up on top of everything and tries to make a speech, but nobody pays attention to him. Then the rich people, they start donating, and other people start donating to this warehouse to give away to the needy and the homeless. And they all speculate what it could have been. They think that maybe a flying cornucopia was circling the earth and it disgorges itself every 1,000 years. Some people were claiming they saw that. Some people were thinking that it was Santa Claus because it was Christmas time and he was giving all of that. But there was really, nobody could prove anything, and Allumette doesn't care about an explanation. She's just happy that the good that came of it. And she says that's all that counts. And I'm like, dang, she was really, really bad off, and look at how thoughtful she is. She deserved to get all her wishes to come true. That's wonderful. And then they carry it even further. They find out where Disasters is. She ends up getting all these volunteers that want to help her, even the soldiers. And they go to places where there are disasters and they help out. And see, they're distributing food here. They travel all around. They rescue people. And there was never another storm like that where things came out that she wanted. And she was, she was just fine with that. And as she grew up, she became the head of her own foundation called the Matchless Light of the World Foundation. And she never felt the need to make another wish. But she would go out like on stormy nights and she'd look up at the sky and she'd look at the clouds rolling by. Just out of respect, she's waving at them because she really appreciates what happened. So this is such a wonderful story. I don't know why I could have possibly been offended by it as a child. I am happy to have this. This is a wonderful, wonderful... I'm sorry that it's no longer in print. I wish that people, could get this. I wish that this would be available to children today. I'll tell you what, if this was on Goodreads, I would give it 5 stars. Because this story made me feel so good and so nice after reading it. So, yeah, because, the little match girl depresses me. And even when I think about it, I start crying. It's just so sad, I didn't want it to end that way. And this makes it nice. This makes the ending nice. Okay, so that's Allumette by Tomi Ungerer. Oh, and by the way, I'm reading this then. I read this, that is, because I read this in 10 minutes. This will be part of my lazy readathon that Madame Gothica started. I'll put the link to her channel down below, and it ends at the end of September. And this is my first entry in the lazy readathon. I guess any book that I read this month, leisurely, would be part of the lazy readathon. So I did read another book, which I'm going to do a review on soon, but this will be the first one for that readathon. I like that. I like the idea of that. You just leisurely enjoy yourself, read one book, read 20, whatever you want to read. I thought that was a really good idea for a readathon. So thank you, Madame Gothica. All right. Bye-bye.